well? RESTful web service is doing well. Got it? I think Spring Data MongoDB is still pending for you. It's a common topic. I will take on par with others. Okay. Right. This weekend plan is Spring Boot security we already completed. But OAuth is not completed yet, right? Did I complete OAuth? No. So tomorrow 9 a.m. Sunday at what time you need? 9 is okay. 9 means too early, na? Sunday, I think you have to give the feeling of Sunday. Evening okay or morning? Morning only you want? Okay. Okay. Sunday evening. What do you say, online student? Sunday evening or morning? I think we are habituated to 6 o'clock session, actually. Sunday morning only. Why? Any specialist there in the evening? Okay. Fine. We'll make it 10:30 a.m. We'll make it 10:30 a.m. Okay. This Sunday, this one. If not completed, because I always keep one session in buffer, right? If not completed, Monday Raksha Bandhan, but 9 a.m. online session will be there. Continuation of this. If completed, 9 a.m. online session, not microservice, RESTful service discussion will be there. So it's a launch of microservice, but we are going to study what? RESTful web service. Here we are going to study RESTful web service. Clear, guys? Perfect. First RESTful web service, 10-12 sessions. Followed by that, you'll be having what? Microservices. And as part of microservice, other small topics are there. Kafka, Redis cache, this kind of small actuators. All these things will be covered along with what? Microservice discussion only. But as a special topics, guys. Today is Saturday, so lecture will be there. Saurabh, first get up and wash your face. Don't sit in front of system directly from the bed. Okay, today is still Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. Right, guys. All namunas will be there in online. Huh? Okay. Right, guys. Today is Friday. That's your regular class. Tomorrow, special topic OAuth 2.x. Sunday, special topic 10:30 a.m. OAuth 2.x. I will list out at the end also. Don't worry. And if not completed, Monday 9 a.m. If completed, Monday 9 a.m., you people will be having only online RESTful service class. Only online RESTful service class. Is that clear in brain? Perfect. Yeah. Actually, our next topic should be microservice. But if you know web service already, but new generation student, they are learning core Java, advanced Java also that learning that much seriously. They're just learning for the namesake, right? So I cannot expect they should have what? Web service knowledge. That's why I'm only taking the responsibility of what? Teaching web services. So that's the reason compared to others, our course duration is bit extra, guys, because I'm starting from Spring Core. Actually, course title is Spring Boot Microservice, but I'm teaching Spring also. Before microservice, I'm teaching RESTful web service. So that's why that here only 1 month, 1.5 month, you can see that, right? So you have to give time in order to see it. But both are important for interview. RESTful web service knowledge is important for interview. Spring core module knowledge is also very important for interview. Otherwise, I would have not wasted my time in that style. Okay. I think total how many sessions came so far? Anyone, any online people? Any online people counting number of sessions? No one is? Don't count days. Count sessions. Nearly 90. Can I assume 85? 86. Okay, let's count 85, right? How much I promised? 100 to 120. 100 to 120. I think we are in the right track. We are in the right track. 10-12 sessions for this, another 10-12 sessions for microservices, and leftover sessions for okay, small miscellaneous topics. Common topics are there, na those things. Yeah. Microservices. This needs knowledge of web services, especially RESTful web service. So we learn Spring Boot first REST to get into microservice subject. Spring Boot REST is used to develop RESTful web services, nothing but distributed application, nothing but application to application interaction. In MVC classes, what we study? Browser to application interaction. Client is always browser, guys. That is fixed, right? But now what I want to see? Application to application interaction. Super. Browser to application interaction is called website. Browser to flipkart.com. Client is browser. Application to application interaction is called what? Distributed application. Flipkart.com talking to PhonePe. PhonePe application talking to our bank application. Here client can be any software application. Here client can be any software application. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, I want reply. PhonePe to our bank application. Here client can be any software application, guys. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Tell me here, what is the story, guys? Java is a platform independent and architectural neutral language. What is that? Computer architecture. I'll start from 0%, guys. I'm preparing background that is required to launch distributed application. What is your plan today, sir? My plan of today is very simple. To develop distributed application in the market, RMI was there, EasyB was there. Okay. What is that? I forgot the name. The name starts with wait a minute. Corba. Corba was there. But related to trend is web services. This is in Java domain. And web service is not specific to Java, guys. It is common for all people. And such a common thing, web service means application to application interaction. One client application, one server application. Server can be there in Java, client can be there in .NET. Server can be there in .NET, client can be there in Java. And client can be mobile application, website, X, Y, Z, developed in any language, running on any operating system, and deployed in any computer architecture. That kind of possibility is there. So when RMI EasyB was there, okay, Corba was there, why people have liked what? Web services. What is the advantage? So for that one, first of all, I'm trying to explain what is computer architecture. Java is platform independent, architecture neutral language. That means computer architecture independent, boss. Spring Boot REST is equal to Spring Boot MVC++. Spring REST is equal to Spring MVC++. Clear, guys? The fan of manufacturing vehicle is called vehicle architecture. Like that, our four-wheeler architectures are. And a four-wheeler can be manufactured in different architectures. Car architecture, Jeep architecture, van architecture, minibus architecture, mini lorry architecture. Come on, guys. Car, Jeep, van, minibus, Mini lorry architecture. We have various architectures to follow or not, guys? Spring rest is equal to Spring MVC plus plus. Spring Boot rest is equal to Spring MVC plus plus. Can I say one thing? Officially, there is no module called Spring Boot rest or Spring rest. Spring Web module is there na, that can be used in two angles. Angle number one for website development. Angle number two, REST application development. Officially, there is no module called REST. Spring REST, Spring Boot REST, those are just our names, boss. Officially, there is no module called REST or Spring Boot REST. It is Spring MVC or Spring Boot MVC which we use to develop RESTful web services. What are services, guys? This indicates we can use Spring MVC, Spring Boot MVC to develop both web applications and what? Distributed applications. Clear, my dear? Web applications and what? Distributed applications. Convinced with me, guys? Come on. Right. The plan or process of manufacturing computer is called computer architecture. And the popular architectures are what? IBM architecture, Apple architecture, Sun architecture. Are all your regular desktop and laptop in which you are installing and using Windows is IBM architecture. Knowingly, no, unknowingly, every day I'm dealing with, you are dealing with IBM architecture computers and laptops. Apple computer is there na, Mac. That is Apple architecture. For server machine, there is a special architecture called Sun architecture. You might have heard Sun Solaris, all this stuff. Yeah, there they will be using what architecture, guys? Sun. These are architectures of assembling different parts, okay, and to manufacture a computer. Okay. Speed wise, security wise, Mac is good, but affordability wise, IBM is good. Affordability wise, IBM is good. So now what I want to prove, C++ languages are not only platform dependent, they are also architecture dependent. That means when you compile .c file, from there you will get .obj file, from there you will get .exe file. This exe file is platform dependent and architecture dependent. In which OS the exe file is generated, in the same OS we should execute. In which OS the exe file is created, in the same OS the exe file should be executed. Are you getting my point there, guys? I want reply. C++ languages are not only platform dependent, they are also architecture dependent, where Java is platform and architecture independent. Platform and what, guys? Architecture independent. OS means what, guys? Operating system like Windows, Linux, and etc. C++, after compilation, you will get what? .obj. After compilation, you will get what? .exe file. Let us assume it has come in what? Windows OS, IBM architecture computer, this kind of setup. Same .java file, after compilation, you will get what? .class file. Here, what is there? It is also came, let us assume, it also came using what? Windows OS and IBM architecture, right? Windows OS and what? IBM architecture computer. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Super. When this exe file is given to computer 1, right? When this exe file is given to computer 1, which is running on Windows OS IBM architecture, this exe file executes or not? This .class file executes or not? Perfect. When this exe file is given to computer 2, come on. Computer 2, which is running on what? Apple architecture computer. Mac OS, Apple architecture computer runs a, but runs a Java file, dot class file executes or not? Only the thing is, here Windows specific JVM is required, here Apple specific JVM is required. But dot class file definitely executes, right? This makes Java as what? Platform independent and architecture independent. I have given CXE file to computer 3, which is running on what? Solaris OS and Sun architecture. No. Java file, yes. I'm giving same file to computer 4, which is running on what? Linux OS and IBM architecture, guys. What, guys? Linux OS and IBM architecture. Tell me, boss, what is the story? Yeah, tell me, guys, here, what is there? Yes, no. No. Windows OS Sun architecture. No. Here is what? Yes. Okay, this indicates what, guys? Java is platform independent and architecture independent. Computer OS nothing but computer. Platform is nothing but OS, right? Computer architecture is nothing but what? The way hardware components are assembled following certain process or principles is called what? Computer architecture. Cool, guys. Browser to website interaction, web application, browser to nareshit.com. Application to application interaction, distributed application, Naresh IT with GPay, GPay with bank application. So enterprise application is combination of what? Web application plus distributed application. What is the example for enterprise application? Flipkart with card payment, right? Example, Flipkart with card payment. Flipkart with card payment. Naresh IT with UPI payment. Naresh IT with UPI payment. Naresh IT with what, guys? UPI payment. Perfect. Let's see, guys. Browser to flipkart.com is going to have communication with what, guys? Web application. Flipkart.com is talking to PayPal using what, guys? Distributed application. PayPal application going to talk with what? Visa Master application using what, guys? Distributed application. Visa Master application is going to talk with the bank application using what? Distributed application. Is it not called enterprise application, boss? See, guys, browser to website, web application, application to application, application to application, application to application. That's why remaining all to be developed as what? Distributed application. This I have introduced in the beginning days also, right, guys? Now tell me, guys, what is the role of PayPal here? What's the role of Visa Master here? Visa Master, all these are payment gateways. Come on. Who provide worldwide infrastructure to operate credit cards and debit cards. Whose services can be accessed from any remote location. From any kind of applications, right? Okay. Yeah, now listen. But I don't want to suffer every e-commerce website fellow knowing each payment gateway and talking to payment gateway directly. Because e-commerce fellow are busy who are selling their products, making money, right? I don't want to suffer them, each e-commerce talking to multiple payment gateways and making their details up to date. So to do that work, I'm introducing one mediator. That mediator is nothing but payment broker. It acts as a bridge between e-commerce applications and payment gateway. So any change in payment gateway details, any change in location or other details of payment gateway will be kept tracked by payment broker, and they just take a card number, debit card number or credit card number, net banking credentials. Okay, they will communicate with what? Appropriate payment gateway, and they make sure that payment is done smoothly without worrying about where exactly, how exactly the payment gateway applications are running and behaving. Payment gateway applications are running and behaving. Is that clear, guys? I want reply. Visa, Master, and etc. are payment gateway application providing worldwide infrastructure to perform card-based transaction. What based, guys? Card-based transaction. Credit card, debit card. PayPal, PayUmoney, Nemo Pay, Roger Pay, and etc. are, come on, guys, payment broker acting as a bridge between e-commerce applications and what? Payment gateway application. E-commerce application and what? Payment gateway application. Got it, my point, guys? The cards issued by payment gateway will come to customer through banks by linking with what? Bank accounts. Through bank by linking with what accounts, guys? Bank accounts. Are you understanding my statement, guys? I want reply. Super. Distributed computing. Up. Application development makes two applications of two different servers belonging to either same machine or different machine talking to each other and also exchanging data in global format. Distributed computing or application development is all about making two application belonging to same machine or different machine talking to each other and also exchanging the data. Since XML JSON data is platform independent, OS independent, language independent, technology independent, so we can say XML and JSON data is global data. JSON is better alternate to what? XML. Array, JSON data, XML data can be recognized, processed, and used by any language, any technology application running on any operating system and any architecture. That's why they are called global data formats. Generated data is called global data. Yeah. Tell me, guys. Browser talking to application one. This is web application, na? Leave it. Application one talking to application two. This is distributed application, na, boss? It is running in its own server WebLogic. It is running in its own server WebLogic. They may be there in the same mission. They may be there in what? Different mission. They may be there in what? Same mission. They may be there in what? Different missions. Are you getting my point there, guys? They may be there in same mission. A browser is talking to server 1. Server 1 talking to server 2. And in server 1 application is talking to application 2. Okay, guys. Tell me, guys. Machine 20. This is on machine 20. This is machine 10. This is on machine 20. This is on machine 10, guys. This is on machine 10. Super. Application to application interaction is called distributed application. They generally deal with what? Method calls, method request, based communication. Array, listen. Sometimes, if it is RMI is AB kind of thing, client will invoke the methods of the server application. Give the results. If it is web service environment, it's extension of web application. Methods will be invoked for what? Request we generate. Output will go to client as response. In web service environment, client and server, consumer and producer will communicate with each other through method call. Through request and response based method execution. In RMI is a kind of Java based distributed environment, directly methods will execute, no request and response, because they are not web based, they are non-web based. But web services is purely web based. Here server methods executing means what? Through request they execute, as a response their output goes to browser. That's why they generally deal with what? Method calls. RMI is AB. Method request based communication, where data can be exchanged through XML or JSON format. So where this method calls comes into picture, guys? In RMI is AB. In RMI is AB. In what? Web services. In web services environment. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Generally, every application we develop contains how many layers? 4. This application of client, this application of server contains how many layers? 4 layers. You have to focus like anything. Now I'm going to tell how application to application interaction happen. Here I can follow MVC architecture. Here I can follow MVC. It will talk to its own database. It will talk to its own database. On special situation, they talk with each other. Flipkart will have its own business. Products, saving, pricing, billing. For that one, own database is required. PayPal is also having its own database. Come on, guys. But whenever I give credit card or debit card number, then only Flipkart application should talk with PayPal. That means it is having its own MVC architecture. It is having its own MVC. It is having its own layers and database. It is also having its own layers and database. In special situation, they talk. Yes, na boss? Two people are married. Okay, they live their life individually. But wherever there is a need of taking family decision, they think together, they take the decision together, right? Careers, according to their domain, they will choose the paths. Shopping, according to their taste, they do shopping. But when it comes to taking what? Decision, family decision, how many kids they want, family together they will take it. Which school the kid should go to? Family. Where to celebrate family function? Together they will take. So similarly here also same, na? Basically they are two individual application for a special purpose. They are talking. What is that special purpose in this example? Debit card payment, credit card payment. Remaining all situation, adding products, deleting products, same. Here, adding payment gateway, deleting payment gateway, because it's not compulsory every payment broker should have link with every payment gateway, right? And moreover, whenever transaction is happened, these people will get some commission, right? So they should have a separate database maintaining that information. They should have separate logics to calculate those commissions and other things. Come on, guys. So that's why always remember, they are talking together means they are not together single application. Client is separate independent application, server is, but on demand they talk to each other, right, boss? Generally, every application we develop 4 layers. Presentation layer, UI layer. Contains what logic? UI logic. Struts JSF, Spring MVC, Servlet JSP, Angular, React JS, HTML, CSS, Android, sometimes Android also. Are front end above. Some logic. Next one, service layer, business logic. Calculation, analyzation, validation, filtering, all this stuff. Presentation, persistence layer or data access layer. Contains what logic, guys? Persistence logic like performing what? Card operation. JDBC, Hibernate, Spring JDBC, Data JPI, Spring Data JDBC, Spring Data MongoDB, Spring ORM. And what is the best among all this stuff? As on today, these two are the best. In front end, these two are the best, right? As on today, these two are the best. This is best, not two. In business logic, all will be there. Data layer, guys, contains data of the application. The real persistence store, guys. Database software, SQL or no SQL. File, text to file, property file, XML file, JSON. Distributed application development. The client application will have its own 4 layers dealing with what? MVC architecture, and server application will have what? Its own 4 layers dealing with the MVC architecture. Okay, na? All right. Okay, now I am coming to the actual story. If you want to link one application with another application using distributed computing or application development, we need to add an additional layer. What is that? We need to add an additional layer in both consumer and producer applications. Consumer and what? Producer application. That is integration layer. We can develop the logics of integration layer using distributed technologies or framework like RMI, EasyB, web services, and etc. I hope you understood, guys. If you want to link one application with another application using distributed computing or application development, we need to add an additional layer in both consumer and producer application. That is what? Integration layer. We can develop the logics of this integration layer using distributed technologies or framework, RMI, EasyB, web service. At least now you got the idea where web services came into picture, guys. Consumer application, client application that consumes services of the server application or producer application. PayPal is producer, Flipkart is consumer. Server application that develops the services of what? Server application or producer application and keeps them ready for consumption. And simply keeps them ready for consumption, guys. It simply keeps them ready for consumption. Clear, boss? Got the point, my dear? I want reply. The integration layer logic of consumer application is technically called what? Okay, first look at the diagram. Application one consumer. Tell me what is Flipkart.com, right? It is having its own presentation layer, service layer, persistence layer. Come on. Persistence layer. This is a data layer, right? Data. It is having its own database, guys. Application to producer, PayPal, guys. Its own presentation, service, persistence layer. It is having its own database. Come on, guys. It is having its own database, nothing but data layer. But what is extra in both places? What is extra in both places? Integration layer. So that means without disturbing existing layers, we add one extra layer called what? Integration layer. And this integration layer will interact with each other. Both integration layers will interact with each other. Come on, my dear. Super. Tell me, guys. This integration layer, consumer need to give inputs, producer need to give outputs. If it is web service, inputs will go along with the request as request body. Output will come in the form of response as response body. If it is a non-web service technology like RMI EJB, input will go along with the method call as argument value. Output will come as the method return value, But technically, this integration layer logics are having some names for easy identification, boss. Client-side integration layer logics are called stub logics. Integration layer logic of consumer application is called stub. Consumer means client, guys. The integration layer logics of what? Producer is technically called what? Skeleton logics. What logic, guys? Skeleton logics. In web services environment, what is that? In a web services environment, the stub and skeleton will communicate with each other. Using request and response model. In which the inputs will be sent in the form of request body and the outputs will be received in the form of response body. Inputs will be received in the form of request body and the outputs will be received in the form of response body. Yeah. In non-web service environment, non-web services environment like RMI EJB. RMI is AB. The stub and skeleton will communicate with each other in method calls model, right guys? Method calls model in which the inputs will be given in the form of method call args, and the outputs will be given in the form of method return values. Outputs will be given in the form of what? Method return values. Convinced with me, guys? So final conclusion is what? Distributed technologies are generally required to make two applications talking with each other. Generally, in consumer and producer application, they will be used to develop integration layer logic. Integration layer logic. Integration layer of consumer is called stub. Integration layer of producer is called skeleton. So to develop this skeleton and stub logic in both consumer and producer application, and to make them talking with each other by exchanging data in global format, we need distributed technology support. Different ways of developing integration logic, integration layer logic, guys. Integration layer logic in Java environment, different using different distributed technologies of Java or framework. RMI, EJB, Corba, HTTP invoker, web services. What's the best? What's the problem with RMI, EJB? Java based. Both consumer and producer must be there in Java. HTTP invoker must be. Can be implemented in multiple languages. Corba. Web services can be implemented in multiple languages. Then when Corba is there, why web service is clicked, guys? Corba is hero on the paper. Specification wise, great promises. Like our election promises, right? Implementation wise, lot of problems. Implementation wise, lot of problem. Hero on the paper, zero in the execution. That's why Corba got failed, utter flop, guys. But web services is really doing well, guys. Really doing well. As a, that's why it has become what? Best distributed technology that is there in the market. That's why it has become what, guys? Best distributed technology that is there in the market. Non-Java, guys, RPC, remote procedure calls, DCOM, Microsoft technologies, guys, distributed component object model, distributed component object model, .NET remoting, Corba web services. Observe very carefully, Corba and web services I have written both places. Why? Can be implemented in multiple languages or not, guys? Okay. Java-based distributed technology framework is nothing but both consumer and service server application must be there in Java. RMI, EJB, HTTP invoker. Multi-language distributed technology framework means the client and server application can be there in any one language, or in two different languages, web service and Corba. Just now I said, na, producer can be there in Java, consumer can be there in .NET. And reverse also possible, guys. Reverse implementation is also possible or not, guys? Reverse implementation is also possible or not, guys? Are you understanding my statement, guys? I want reply. Yeah, now I'm revealing one by one, guys. RMI given by Sun Microsystem, part of JDK. No need of separate installation. In JDK, RMI is included, guys. It is language independent. After all, sorry, it is language dependent. Dependent. Both consumer and producer must be there in Java. It is platform independent and architecturally neutral. Java, na, that's why. Cannot use internet network as the communication channel between consumer and producer application. Sorry, does not allow to use internet network as only local area network it can use. Uses a JRMP protocol, guys. Consumer and producer will talk to each other using which protocol? JRMP. Outdated because of EaseAB. Does not give built-in, does not give any built-in middleware services. Security, logging, auditing, transaction management, this kind of services are not coming as what? Ready-made services. Every service should be implemented manually. The ready-made secondary logics like security, transaction management, and etc. Here data will be exchanged in binary format between consumer and producer. Between consumer and producer. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Here data will be exchanged in binary format between consumer and what? Producer. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? Web service environment is the best environment for developing the distributed application because it makes distributed applications as what? Extension of web application using HTTP protocol. Next what? Interoperability. If you know web application development, developing the web services does not take much time because web services are extension of web application. Why they are popular? I'm talking, boss. Number two, people say a number of language independent technology. Why all this thing? One single word, interoperability. What is that? Develop anywhere, consume anywhere. Develop anywhere, consume anywhere. Java application, Vara. Write once, run anywhere. But here, develop anywhere, consume anywhere. Develop anywhere, consume anywhere. See, guys, the client and consumer application can be there in two different languages or technologies or framework running in any OS. Running on any OS, having any computer architecture, having any computer architecture. Right now, boss? Right. Yeah, EaseAB. Better than RMI, but still bad compared to web services. There were days, if you know EaseAB, people used to treat you as a god because bit complex also. But people have used EaseAB as a distributed technology, especially in the banking application, to enjoy some ready-made middleware services, especially transaction management. But they paid heaviness, complexity of EaseAB, okay, only for middleware services that are coming as ready-made services. Especially transaction management is too good in EaseAB. Too good means combining related operation logics into single unit and executing those logics by applying what? Do everything or nothing principle. Simply, it's all about executing those logics by applying what, guys? Do everything or nothing principle. What, guys? Do everything or nothing. Do everything or nothing. If completed, both should be completed. If one operation fails, other operation also should be failed. That is called transaction management. Do everything or nothing. Transfer money operation you take. It's a combination of how many operations, guys? Two operations. It's a combination of how many operations, guys? Two operations. If completed, both should be completed. If one operation fails, other operation also should be failed. If one operation fails, other operation also should be failed. This is nothing but running the code by applying do everything or nothing principle. Running the code by applying what, guys? Do everything or nothing principle. What do you say, guys? I want reply from you people, guys. Outdated because of web services and it's what? Heaviness and complexity. Okay, let's see. Is AB, guys, given by Sun Microsystem. Enhancement of RMI. Is AB is equal to RMI plus plus. It is language independent. Both consumer and producer application must be there in Java. Platform and architecture independent. Can use both LAN and WAN. WAN means internet as the communication channel. It allows both what? LAN and WAN as the communication. Needs a heavyweight EJB container to execute EJB component. To execute servlet component, servlet container is required. Come on. To execute JSP component, JSP container is required. Similarly, to execute EJB component, that means what? Provider application, provider application. We need EJB container or not? But do you think EJB container come just like? No, it is part of one special server called application server. Application server is extension of web server. Application server is extension of what, guys? Application server is the simply extension of what, guys? Web server software. Clear, boss? Got the point, my dear? I want reply, guys. Come on, everyone. Application server is the extension of what software, guys? Web server software. Are you getting my point, my dear? Understanding my statement, guys? Come on, everyone. It is a technology of JWE module. Yeah, listen. EJB container is part of another heavyweight application server software like WebLogic, Glassfish, and what, etc. Use lots of built-in middlewares, guys. It was popular in banking application earlier for this reason. Okay, transaction management is what? Very popular. The additional configurable optional services that can be applied on the applications are called what? Middleware services. Security, logging, auditing, and etc. boss. The additional configurable and optional services that can be applied on applications are called what? Middleware services. Security, logging, auditing, and what? Etc. It is a technology of JWE module and EJB containers of application server software will come as the implementation. Will come as the implementation. Comfortable, guys? Got the point, my dear? I want reply, guys. Super. We must deploy the developed EJB components in the EJB containers of application server execution. In the EJB container of application server execution. Though Tomcat is called application server from version 7, it is still not providing EJB container. Can we work with the Tomcat to deploy and execute EJB components? Our EJB components are nothing but server application. Provider application developed using EJB. EJB components means the, what is that? Server or provider application, provider application of distributed computing, distributed computing that is developed using EasyB, that is developed using ease, that is developed using EasyB, guys. That is developed using EasyB. That is developed using EasyB. Comfortable, guys? Got it? Super. Very complex to learn and execute. To insert one record, I should write 200 lines of code. And EasyB container generates another 200 lines of code as a proxy code. And total 400 lines of code together, if execute smoothly, then one line of record will be inserted. That much complex it is. That much heavyweight it is. I said, now, if you know EasyB, people used to treat it as a god in those days. The data will be exchanged in binary format, guys, between consumer and producer. No XML JSON. Same as RMI. RMI also does not, guys. RMI also not, guys. Next, what is there, guys? CORBA. Common Object Request Broker Architecture not succeeded. Hero on specification, zero in the implement. Promises full, guys. Like recently one movie has come, American movie. Remake of Forrest Gump. Remake of Hollywood movie Forrest Gump, guys. Are Sardar Zeke movie something. American movie, ra? Hey, recently 2-3 years back it came. One military cop. One military movie has come, na ex-serviceman movie. American. No idea. Lal Singh Chadda, yes. That is also what? Expectations are too heavy, right? But in the theater it got failed or not? And moreover, that movie is the remake of one Hollywood movie. The movie name is Forrest Gump. As it is, scene by scene, only Hindi dialogues are different. Okay, right. Fine. Same thing. Like it's like Lal Singh Chadda. Expectations are high. Okay, reality is nothing. Platform architecture and language independent. Language independent also. We can develop producer and consumer services in multiple languages. Consumer and producer can be there in 2 different languages, platforms and architecture. Like Java, C++, C and CORBA is specification and it will be implemented as what? Ideal. Interface definition language. CORBA is complex to learn and apply. Apply means to execute. CORBA is heavyweight to implement. CORBA looks great concept wise, but gives problem towards what? Implementation. That's why not succeeded, guys. Theoretically, it's great, guys. Practically, it's nothing. Web services, best. Web service is the mechanism of linking 2 applications as consumer and producer application using which protocol? HTTP. Web service is platform independent, architecture independent, and language independent. Producer developed in Java can be consumed in .NET, Java, PHP, Python, JavaScript, and etc. Even reverse is possible, right? Web service says developer produce the service anywhere and consume the service anywhere. This feature is called what? Interoperability. This feature is called what, guys? Interoperability. This feature is called what? Interoperability. Web service makes the consumer or producer application. Web service make consumer and producer application exchanging data either in XML or in JSON. JSON is better, but we have two options, guys. Java and other languages have provided multiple APIs, technologies and framework to implement web service logic as skeleton logics and as stub logic. Skeleton logic, integration layer logics of producer. Stub logic, integration layer logics of consumer. Integration layer logics of consumer. Clear, boss? Got the point, my dear? I want reply. Super. Next one. Web services support HTTP request and HTTP response based method invocation. That means as HTTP request, the consumer application invokes the method of producer application and the result of method execution goes back to consumer application as HTTP response from the producer application having XML/JSON. Having XML/JSON. Clear, guys? Got the point, guys? Come on. Web services support HTTP request and HTTP response based method invocation. That means as HTTP request, consumer application invokes the method of producer application and the results of method application goes to consumer application as HTTP response of producer application. Through request, method call will happen. Through response, response. That is what I have highlighted. RMI is AB communication is what? Method calls communication. In web services, what is the communication, guys? Request and response model communication. Same as web application, guys. But web application is browser to application communication, right? And web services, application to application communication. Application to application communication. Two ways of implementing web services. What are those, guys? SOAP-based web services going down. In web service also two types of this, SOAP-based. And what? RESTful. Actually, SOAP is a protocol, guys. Simple Object Access Protocol. REST means representational state transfer web service. It is not a protocol. It's a kind of architecture or mechanism for what? Application to application interaction. Please remember, SOAP is a protocol. REST is not a protocol. Representational state transfer web service. It is not a protocol. It is a kind of architecture or mechanism for what? Application to application interaction. What interaction, guys? Application to application interaction. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. This runs based on three component principle, guys. What principle? One is service provider, one is service consumer, one is service registry. Service provider, service consumer, service registry. Where the services will be registered to expose. Where the services will be registered to expose. Are you getting my point there, guys? Are you understanding my statement? Super, guys. Tell me here, what is there? Consumer, producer, service registry. Number one, we develop the provider application. PayPal application is developed. Number two, we keep that PayPal application in service registry, which is called UDDI, Universal Discovery and what is that? UDDI. Universal description, discovery, and integration. That means PayPal is registered with the UDDI. But registration means not entire keeping component there. Regarding that PayPal service and its business methods, one XML document is generated and that XML document is kept here. And the name of the XML document is WSDL, WSDL document. Web service description language document. Don't you think, do you think we'll keep only one document there? No. 10 provider application can be kept in single service registry. Okay, having 10 provider application related WSDL document. Number one, PayPal is developed. Number two, PayPal is registered. That means PayPal related WSDL document is kept in the UDDA registry. Come on, guys. Number three, consumer application, consumer application interacts with the service registry. Service consumer application interacts with what? Service registry. Are you getting my point there, guys? Downloads the WSDL document about the provider for performing lookup operation. Right, guys? This is register. This is lookup. Using the WSDL document, it will develop the stub logics. Development of stub logics by downloading WSDL document is what, guys? Consumer work. Because of this stub logic, already skeleton logics are there in the provider. Tell me what happened. Okay, I will generate the request for method invocation, but in that request, inputs will go in the form of XML, and this XML content is developed according to SOAP protocol. So that's why this request is called what? SOAP over HTTP request. What request, guys? Consumer pass inputs to producer along with the request as request body. In SOAP-based web services, that request body is XML content. The XML content is what? Following SOAP protocol rules and guidelines. SOAP protocol rules and guidelines. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Are you getting my point? Yes. Yeah. SOAP or HTTP request means in HTTP request, inputs are going as request body, and that inputs are going as request body, that too in XML, and that XML is developed according to SOAP protocol rules and guidelines. SOAP means rules, protocol rules to create the request body and response body. Method is executed now, boss. Super. Method generated output goes to consumer as response, and this response contains response body. That response body contains output in the form of XML, and that XML tags are created according to SOAP protocol. That's why overall it is what? SOAP over HTTP response. SOAP over HTTP response. And who receives that response, guys? Consumer will receive the response. Ultimately, consumer will receive the response or ultimately the consumer will receive the response or not, guys? I want reply. I want reply, guys. Comfortable, guys? Got the point, my dear? Once again, provider is developed, PayPal is developed. PayPal is registered means having PayPal related detail. One WSDL document is created, again XML only, and kept in UDDA registry. Consumer, Flipkart fellow, is talking to UDDA registry, performing search operation and getting its WSDL document for the PayPal. About the PayPal, he got the WSDL document. Using the WSDL document, this fellow developed what? Stub logics. Already skeleton logics are there at the producer. Right, boss. This producer, this consumer generate SOAP over HTTP request. Normal HTTP request. In that one, inputs are there in request body, and those inputs are there in what? SOAP protocol based input. Nothing but XML inputs in the form of SOAP protocol. Yeah. Okay. In producer, those business methods are executed. Generated output becomes what? HTTP response. But that is called SOAP over HTTP response. Nothing but whatever output is generated that become response body. That response body will be there in the form of what, guys? XML. And this XML is prepared according to which rules and guidelines? SOAP rules. That's why it becomes what? SOAP over HTTP response. Consumer receives that response and displays there. Consumer receives that response and displays there. Everyone getting my point there, guys? I want reply, my dear. Come on. SOAP message is strictly typed or complex XML message, which will be converted into Java objects and reverse using JAXB. While traveling XML input, but originally inputs are Java, na? While traveling XML input in producer, originally it needed as what? Java. Outputs are originally generated as what? Java. Traveling, it should be XML. When outputs are coming to consumer, originally XML, but it is required in what? Java. So here XML to Java, Java to XML. Lot of conversation is required or not? Lot of conversion is there or not there? Yeah, what is the API we have for doing this conversion? That is nothing but JAXB API is there. Consumer uses JAXB API internally, producer uses JAXB API internally. When it receives the input, XML, but within the application, it needs objects. That's why JAXB. When it generates the output, object. While sending, XML, JAXB. Come on, guys. Okay, next one. Generated inputs, Java. While sending, XML, JAXB. Received outputs, XML. Actually expected one, Java. Again, JAXB. So don't think that one side, in both sides, JAXB is required, right, guys? The HTTP request carries XML based SOAP message as request body, nothing but inputs. The HTTP response carries XML based SOAP message as response body, nothing but outputs. Nothing but outputs. Clear, guys? Understood my statement, guys? But how they will go? XML. But that need conversion or not, guys? Java architecture for XML binding. Nothing but converting Java object to XML and vice versa. Vice versa means what? Reverse also true, guys. Reverse also true. For every SOAP based web service that is registered in service registry, there will be one WSDL document, right? Having multiple details about web service, like how to consume service names, endpoint details will be there, guys. Come on. Microservices. Services are okay, that is too heavy. We'll discuss later. A microservice architecture is extension of what? Web service architecture. I will tell what is microservice architecture first. If there are 10 services to develop, how many projects we take? 10 projects. And each project will be developed as one RESTful web service. That's the reason we are learning RESTful web service. But straight away, I'm not launching RESTful web service, guys. Though one session got wasted, I launched it from 0%, right? What is a distributed application? From onwards, first RMI, then EZB, then Corba. Now we are in web service. In web service, now we are understanding what? SOAP based web service. In SOAP based web service, Communication media is always XML. No question of using JSON. This is the one reason why SOAP-based web service is paid. And complexity of SOAP messages. Normal XML, okay. XML according to SOAP protocol. That schema, this schema, lot of hangama will be there in the preparation of the messages. In the preparation of the message, complexity is increased, guys. See, guys, Java object to XML conversion is called marshalling, and reverse is called what? Unmarshalling. Object XML. Okay, here is what? Marshalling. XML to object, unmarshalling. Consumer send inputs to producer as SOAP messages in the request. Producer sends output to consumer as SOAP message in the response. Okay, in the request SOAP message means it is there in the request body. In the response SOAP message means it is there in the response body. Okay, guys, now focus. The HTTP request and HTTP response two contain head part, body part. Head is again two parts are there. Initial line, headers. Initial line, header. Again, we are coming back to protocol HTTP structure, guys. Protocol HTTP structure. Okay. Protocol HTTP structure is this now, boss? Up to this head part, guys. Check it out. Up to this head part. Head is having two more parts. What are those? Initial line, request, headers. Initial line contains what? HTTP method, get post kind of thing. Path, nareshid.com kind of thing. Protocol, HTTP 1.1, that is a default. Headers contains what? Headers, array, this is request initial line. This is request initial line. This is what, guys? Request initial line. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Request initial line. HTTP method, get post, path, protocol and what? Version. Protocol and what? Version. Is that clear, my dear? I want reply, boss. I want reply. Super. Tell me. User agent, Chrome. Array, request headers will hold additional information about the consumer. If it is browser, browser. If it is a consumer application, consumer application. MIME type supported by the consumer. Languages supported by the consumer. Like this, multiple details, they will be generated automatically, guys. And between head and body part, there will be one blank line or not, guys. And when I say HTTP methods, total 9 methods are there or not there. But browser can send only two modes of request, get and post. But in web services, consumer can send almost all modes of request. Almost all modes of request, guys. Connect is reserved for future. Patch is for partial update. And put is for full update. Come on, guys. Put is for full update. These are the various HTTP method. We will discuss them in later. This is normal HTTP request structure, guys. Normal HTTP request, the request body will be query string having request parameter names and value. Check it out. Normal. I'm not talking about SOAP or HTTP request. I'm talking about normal query string. Like SNO 101 ampersand sname Raja ampersand this. In SOAP or HTTP request, the request body will be what? XML based SOAP message, nothing but XML tags. Nothing but XML tag. This is normal HTTP request, guys. What is this? Normal HTTP request. Check it out, guys. Up to this head part, blank line, this is body part. Head part, blank line, body part. Head part is having what? Post, request method, wish, request path, protocol and version. To host to content length, what is that? Request headers. Host means which computer. User agent means browser name. Accept means MIME types. Accept language support. Encoding means GGP deflate. Connection keep alive. Or until response comes, you keep the connection alive. This kind of extra information is there or not there, guys. There's a blank line and request body is a query string. Why? In post mode request, query string goes to browser. Query string goes to server in the form of browser address bar content. Appended to the URL, it will go now, or it will go as what? Appended to the URL, it will go now, or it will go as what? Request body, yeah, request body. Request header carry more information about client to server along with the generated request. Simply along with the generated request, boss. Tell me. Post mode request contains request body representing query string. Whereas get mode request does not contain what? Request body, because it carries inputs as query string appended to the request URL. It carries inputs as query string appended to the request URL. Appended to the request URL. Are you getting my point there, guys? I want reply, boss. Post mode request contain request body representing query string, whereas get mode request does not contain what? Request body, because it carries inputs as what? Query string appended to the request URL. Appended to the request URL. Everyone getting my point there or not? Come on. Super. Tell me, guys. Are this is post mode request na, boss? This is post mode request. Head is there, blank line is there, body is there. Look at the get mode request. Only head is there. Any blank line? Any body? Then how data goes? Query string appended to the URL in the browser address bar. Mode registration student.asp question mark. Here itself it is going na, boss. Instead of request body in the address bar only, it will be appended na, boss. To the request URL only, it will be appended na. That's why we know that get mode request carries inputs as query string appended to the URL. Post mode request carries request input as the request body. As the host, this one, guys. These are the request address or not, guys? This is initial line. Is there any blank line? Here no blank line and request body, because get mode request does not contain them. Moreover, get mode request carries data in the form of query string. What is there? Appended to the URL. In the form of query string appended to the URL. In the form of query string appended to the URL. Are you getting my point there, guys? I want reply, boss. First, I'm teaching you how does normal request, normal response looks. Yeah. HTTP response structure, guys, normal. No SOAP is involved. As of now, no SOAP is involved. Yeah. It also contains head and body parts. Check, my dear. Head part, body part. Head contains what? Response line, response headers. Blank line separated from response body. In initial line, what it contain? Protocol and version, status code. See, initial line. This is initial line. Protocol version, status code. Array success means 200 na boss, 200. Okay. Next one. Next section, response headers. Date to last modifier. These are response headers na boss. On which date it is generated. Connection close. Once a request related response generated, connection will be closed automatically. Server. What is this? Server. Accept ranges. Content type. Content length. Last modified. Some dates and times are coming, boss. Are you with me, guys? And there is a blank line here. Here what is there? Response body. Array servlet generated output, producer generated output will be there here. So generally, if it is a website, okay, servlet component, JSP component always generate output in the form of HTML code or not? Definitely in the form of HTML code or not, guys? Head part, body part, separated with bank line. In the head part, this is initial line. These are response header. Blank line separation, guys. Then headers. Here, what is there, guys? This site under construction. Please come back later. Sorry. Some response, guys. When it comes to status codes, 1XX to 5XX are possible. 100 to 199, informational, guiding messages. 200 to 299, success. 300 to 399, redirection. 400 to 499, incompletes, client side errors. 500 to 599, what is there? Server side error. That means some exceptions are raised, boss. Response headers gives additional instruction to browser towards displaying the received response as the web page. Suppose when response is displayed, the page should be refreshed automatically for 10 seconds. Then we can use the response header. Auto refreshing of the web page, that kind of features can be enabled using response headers or not. Auto refreshing kind of features can be enabled using response headers. Okay, guys. And now listen. Normal HTTP response contains web component generated output as the response body, whereas SOAP over HTTP response contain SOAP message as the response body. SOAP message as the response body. Everyone getting my point there, guys? I want reply. Got the clarity, my dear? I want reply, guys. What do you say, guys? I want reply from you people. Super. SOAP over HTTP request, guys. SOAP over HTTP request. SOAP messages will go as HTTP request body. SOAP messages will go as HTTP request body. See, guys, so far request body means query string. In post mode request, get mode appended to the URL. But now request body, SOAP over HTTP request means request body is XML message. That too SOAP protocol based XML message. Check it out, guys. Check it out. SOAP over HTTP request. This is head part. This is blank line. This is body part. Okay. In that head part, initial line, check it out. Post, URL, protocol and version. His to this, what is that? Request headers. Blank line. Now look at the body full of XML. Full of XML. Look at actual information is username is this, password is this. Maybe some login tag is there. But since it is a SOAP based, SOAP related schemas are imported. Come on, guys. Compared to data, schema rules are more. I have given minimum thing. I have given minimum thing. If I apply maximum thing, this header section only this much bigger, body section will be very less. The body section will be very, very, very less. The body section will be very, very less. Are you understanding my statement, guys? I want reply. Super, guys. Tell me next one. SOAP over HTTP response. SOAP over HTTP response, guys. Tell me. What is this? Response line. What is this? Response header. What is this? Blank line. What is this? Response body. See, complex number, schema, all this stuff. Original response, you know, what is that? Hello, Swan. What is that? Hello, Swan. That's it. But to get only hello, Swan, this much hangama code is there. And you don't believe, in SOAP message also again, envelope will be there. That envelope contains body and headers. That envelope also contains body and headers. That means within the body, SOAP envelope. So in SOAP envelope contains what? Header and body. Under headache or not, guys? Okay, boss. So at least you got the idea. How does normal HTTP request looks? How does SOAP over HTTP request looks, guys? Come on. Normal HTTP response, SOAP over HTTP response. You got the idea or not, guys? Yes. Can I use JSON in the place of XML here? Yes, sir. In SOAP based web services, not possible. SOAP over HTTP means the HTTP request and HTTP response contains SOAP messages as body or payload. Body is also called. In SOAP based web services, if the consumer and producer applications are available in the same machine, then communication protocol is what? SOAP over HTTP. If the SOAP based web services, the consumer and producer applications are available in what? Two different machines, then communication protocol is what? SOAP over HTTP over TCP IP. First machine should talk TCP IP. Then application should talk HTTP. For data exchange, SOAP. For data exchange, SOAP protocol. SOAP over HTTP over TCP. TCP IP is network protocol to get interaction between two physical computers. SOAP over HTTP is what? Application level protocol to get interaction between what? Consumer and producer applications of SOAP based web services. Consumer and producer applications of what? SOAP based web services. Is it interesting, Ra Babu? You got a basic introduction about web services? But tomorrow when we meet, we will discuss limitations of SOAP-based web services and we'll go step into RESTful web services. So official introduction to RESTful web service happens in next class. Next class is on what? Either Monday or Tuesday. Mostly Monday only, I'm thinking so. Can I upload the notes, guys? How to identify SOAP-based or this one, guys? Okay. Common topic details are tomorrow OAuth 2.x, tomorrow 9 a.m., Sunday 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow 9 a.m., Sunday 10:30 a.m. That's it. Please share interceptors. Interceptors are not shared, guys. No document. Yeah, Spring Boot MVC, file upload, class content, Spring, guys. Please take a session at night also. What do you mean by Niranjan L? Arey, when to teach what topic, you leave it to me, Ra. You don't decide, Ra. You just follow me blindly like a donkey and horse. Please, I know when to take which topic. Please take session at night also. Wow, bada aa gaya. Yeah, today 11 o'clock onwards, new batch of Spring Boot and microservices. Yeah, what's our batch code, guys? 901. Spring Boot MVC. No document on interceptors. Interceptors is there na. 13th and 14th. 13th document is not there. I am uploading. Yeah. 9 a.m. What's the new folder, guys? Spring Boot REST. What is that? Spring Boot REST. Yeah. In the Spring Boot REST, what is the one? File upload. 901 only. Spring Boot REST, guys. This is introduction. This is purely introduction, guys. Yes. Yeah. What is the next one we got? Common topics and tools, guys. Zoom ID for common topics is given. Yeah, this is Zoom ID. But this is the new thing, na? Yeah, what is there? Topic 4. What? How to identify existing web services, SOAP based or HTTP based? Okay. SOAP based web service by opening the code. No option because we cannot see the structure of the HTTP request and response. By opening the code, by understanding how data is traveling. Okay. And moreover, if they want to hide the technology, we cannot identify. We cannot identify. That's it. Session 1. Okay. 9 a.m. What is the tomorrow's date? 17th. What is there? 17th August. Session 2. 10:30 a.m. Where is this? 18th August. Okay. This is the information now, boss. Okay. Yeah. That's it, guys. I think I have uploaded notes also. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow.